If you're not running a tree kicker, you've probably hooked your trailing arm or destroyed the side plastic on your machine. That's why SuperATV offers a tree kicker for this Polaris RZR XP, and today we're going to show you how to get them installed. What's up everybody, I'm Braden Adams, welcome back to my garage, and today we're going to be showing you how easy it is to install SuperATV's tree kickers on this Polaris RZR XP. Here's the tools, let's get right to it. All right, so the first thing you're gonna do is go through and drop the skid plate down. You don't have to completely remove it, you just wanna be able to get your hand up inside the frame, that way you can run the bolts through. If you have an aftermarket skid plate, just remove the outer hardware and then take something to stuff in between the skid plate and the machine. I just have a couple lift blocks, so I just take and stuff those in there like so, and then I'm able to access all the bolts except for the front one. The front, you're gonna remove this front T40, and then you're gonna have two more T40s running across the front, and you can drop that skid panel down and gain access to the back side of the tube. Got one more bolt up here I need to pull out the skid plate. All right, so now you're gonna grab your M10 hardware and your bracket. This is gonna lay up on top of the tube on the frame. Now it's gonna be difficult for you guys to see underneath here and see what we're doing, but I'm gonna explain it to you. So we're gonna start with the front. As you can see, we have the skid plate down and the front panel. I'm gonna lip this bracket in on top of the frame and then slide my bolt through. And I'm gonna put a little bit of red Loctite on the threads of this, that way it never backs out. So here we go. All right, so you can see the threads are exposed. I'm also gonna take this sleeve. That sleeve's gonna slide on there like that. We're just gonna pop a little bit of red Loctite. Just take your tree kicker, lay it up here, and get your hardware started. I'm not trying to fully tighten anything quite yet. We're just gonna leave it hanging like so. We're gonna do the same thing here. Same bolt, same bracket, same process. All right, so for this next step, you're gonna grab your long Allen, you're gonna grab your weld nut on this plate here, and then you're gonna grab your tube that's gonna have the threads on it. And so what we're gonna do is take our hardware, slide it through here, go ahead and get some of our red Loctite. And you can use blue or you can not use any Loctite, totally up to you. You don't have to do this. This is just a personal preference thing. So what we're gonna do is take this combination with a long Allen, slide it through, and we're gonna line the threads up on the inside of the frame. So it's gonna need to come from front to back into the slot, just like this. You're not gonna be able to see it, but what I like to do is get it exactly where I want it, and then I will start my hardware into it. So I've got that centered up. All right, so what you're gonna do is, if you have a rear seat in your machine, you're gonna wanna remove it at this time. We have a rear seat delete kit with a storage rack back here, so we don't necessarily need to remove it. We're on the passenger side, so you're gonna go right behind the filler neck on the inside, and you're gonna see a hole that's gonna go all the way through. You wanna take one of your M10 bolts and your flat washer, and you're gonna drop the bolt through that hole. That bolt's gonna come out on the back side. So we're gonna have the hardware coming through from the inside of the machine. That's gonna thread into the back side of the tree kicker. You're gonna wanna hold the tree kicker up there, start your hardware, and then we'll get our tube aligned to line up with the clamp on the tree kicker itself. All right, so now we're gonna take the tree kicker and line it up on our rear mount. That way we know the exact position that we need to tighten that down. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and tighten down this rear mount. We just don't wanna allow it to spin. So now what you're gonna do is grab the clamps out of the hardware kit, and we are going to clamp the front to the rear section of the tree kicker. What this is gonna do is ensure that everything's gonna stay aligned as we fully tighten the tree kicker to the machine. We're gonna attach the tree kicker to the rear mount using the provided Allens. Once you have all the hardware started into the tree kicker, make sure you go through, fully tighten everything. Like I said, I do recommend to put some sort of thread locker on the bolts that thread directly into the tree kicker. Once you've done that, you've got the passenger side done. It's the same exact process on the driver's side. We're gonna head over there and get ours installed now. So once you have all your hardware tightened up for both sides, that's how easy it is to install SuperATV's tree kickers on this Polaris RZR XP. Be sure to check the description below to pick yours up today, and while you're there, drop a like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.